What's up, FishTube? Bearded Bob once again, doing another little video on this 10-gallon sump setup that I've got here. I don't know what to call it. That's basically what it is. There's a sump down there. There's 3 10-gallon tanks. They all share the same water. It's a pretty good setup. It would be better suited probably for, like, say, a grow out tank for a bunch of different fish, which is eventually that's what this is going to become. Or I may just disconnect all of these from their overflows and have them individually run down to my sump pump down there. That way each one of these would be an individual tank, as well as I could utilize this sump down here, this 20-gallon tall, for something else, different fish or whatever. I'd get rid of that pump and move that mat and filter over a little bit more. Give me some more space, and they could each be grow outs then. So we'll touch on this one. This is a 10-gallon tank with some of my best yellow Neos in it. They've been here for quite a while now. I don't know how long, I don't remember offhand. But they really haven't done anything, which is kind of sad, because these are all what I would consider to be like a painted fire yellow. Their shell is super, super deep in color, as well as their flesh. But none of them have had any babies yet. That could be because of these tiger endlers that I have in here. These were supposed to be rainbow tiger endlers, the same line as Lucas Bretz's. But I've had to pull out a bunch of females because they all had color in their tail, and these ones are supposed to be a pure endler line as far as I know. But you can see there's, you know, one orange one there with a bent spine, and there's another couple females in here. They just don't seem to do well, and the males look beautiful, don't get me wrong, but basically they're all mixed up genetic wise. So I'm gonna have to get rid of this colony and start a new one with better stock, and hopefully that'll work out for me in the long run here. So eventually these males will be joining some of the other male endlers that I have down here. These guys, it's kind of fun to watch. They kind of school up, chase each other all day. These are all males from my Blue Star Endler colony. I only keep a couple of males at a time in with the breeding females and all the babies and stuff. But they're super fun to watch. Look at those guys. And I think if I throw those other males in here too, they'll kind of join up with them, and then I don't really have to get rid of them because I love their colors. I just want to keep a complete colony of the same fish there. So yeah, like I said, these yellows, none of them have even been buried yet, as far as I can tell. I did rip out all of the moss that I had in here because it was all covered and riddled with hair algae. I just couldn't get rid of it. I tried Flourish Excel, I tried peroxide, I tried a bunch of different stuff. I manually remove it all the time. It just wasn't keeping up. But I had a little tiny piece of this Java moss, and I decided, well, why not? I don't have any tanks with just pure Java moss in it, so I tossed a little chunk in there, and it's kind of been starting to take over this corner. I wish it would grow a little bit faster, so maybe I could sell some of it, but as for right now, it's doing just fine. I do fertilize once in a while on these tanks, and just with liquid Thrive S. Also in here, this hornwort, you can see this one I threw in at the same time as I put pieces in these ones. These ones took off, and this one just kind of stayed. Nah. Maybe it's getting choked out from too much duckweed, which is probably the case, but can't really tell. Again, just like most of the other tanks that I have here, there's more of this AR cardinalis, and each one of these has a little piece of API root tab kind of chunked up next to its root structure, and it's just starting to come back. We're starting to get new growth on this big piece here, and each one of these is starting to kind of leaf out nice. This is one of the only plants that I've found that in my fish room actually keeps its nice deep red color even with just these beamswork lights. So I'm really hoping to produce a lot more of that. I used to have a lot, but again, stopped with the fertilizer for a while and pretty much decimated the population, letting it all get shaded out by duckweed, and it needs high light. Again, also we have the crypt or bronze crypts in there, just a couple of them. There's some runners These ones make new plants about once a month, and I'll usually pull them out and use those to start new tanks, which is, it's kind of nice. It's paid for itself many times over already. I bought these originally, I think, from Petco or PetSmart or something. It's just like a little potted plant, and now they pretty much dominate all of my tanks. There's some in every single tank that I have, just because I like them. They grow pretty slow, and they look nice. And it provides pretty good cover, I think, for the shrimp. You can see. So they can get underneath there. Usually when I drop food into these tanks with all the endlers in it, I'll try to shoot so that the piece drops right down in between all these leaves and stuff, and that way the shrimp can get at it and the fish have a hard time finding it. Let's see, more water wisteria in the back there. Obviously duckweed, hornwort floating on top, AR cardinalis, bronze crypt, lots of algae. In the back there's still a little bit of the weeping moss that I had growing in there. I'll have to get that out of there so that it doesn't entangle itself with this Java moss. And yeah, we just kind of watch this tank. This one's been set up for a long time with these fish in it, and they never really did much of anything. And the offspring have been, you know, subpar, especially like that one there with the bent back. So he'll go live with the goldfish, and the rest of these, the females I might keep, and I'll throw into I've got a tank for all my fancy guppies and stuff. So they'll go and live with here. This is where all the females that came out of the tank ended up, the ones that had colors on their tails. Just because I hate to get rid of them. I'll sell these back to the fish store and, you know, get it in trade maybe and get some more fish food and whatnot. So yeah, this one should be empty soon. I think I'll take these yellow neos and I'll put them back in with the regular yellow neo colony. And it looks so bare in here. A couple weeks ago I pulled out a giant ball of Christmas moss that I had in there to set up this next tank. Ooh, you can just see me, and a couple of yellow neos made it over into this tank. But this is Akadama substrate, so they're not going to be doing any breeding or anything in here. But yeah, I pulled out a big bunch of it, and you can see all the mulm and stuff left over. Well, maybe because all you can see is my shirt right now. Anyway, left a bunch of mulm and stuff from where the moss has been kind of shading everything out, and the shrimp have just been going nuts over it and picking at it all day. Same thing with, there's one bristlenose in here, and he's kind of caved up, and then a bunch of autosyncleus catfish. So they've been kind of floating around chewing on this mulm, getting rid of it for me, which is super nice. I think that pretty much sums up this aquarium here. You can see I forgot to erase all this stuff. I use a permanent marker on here, and then you just take a little bit of rubbing alcohol on a paper towel and wipe all this gunk off, or all the words off, and it comes off pretty well. So that's kind of how I mark my tanks, so I know what's going on in them. Otherwise, there's not too much else going on in this tank. And stay tuned. I got a bunch more videos coming out here, and it should be pretty much a fish room tour by the time it's all done. Kind of talking about each individual tank and plans for the tanks in the future. Well, I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you hit that like, hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Got a lot of videos coming up here. Would really like to show you guys what's going on in the fish room. Alright, thanks for watching. Peace.